Like and subscribe right now, or else this will be in your bed tonight. r/AskReddit by Planet Reddit. What is the smallest thing that makes you lose your temper immediately? Things not staying where I put them. For example, if I hang a towel and it just immediately decides to slide off. Or I put my spoon down in my ice cream. But because it's still almost full, the spoon just tips over and falls out. Like your inanimate ducking objects. Don't just ducking up and decide to do some random ass bullshit that makes me have to go and pick shit up or clean the floor. This is me for sure. I get angrier at inanimate objects more than I do people, I believe. Just stay in the damn place I left you. You stupid cup. Someone trying to talk to me while I eat at work. Come on. Just let me have this 10 minutes to myself. Oh my god, this is the shit that makes me see red. Example. Me. Finally sits down for lunch after being on my feet for 4 straight hours. Just wanting to be left alone so I can eat in peace and silence. Co-worker, every ducking time without fail. Watch her eating. Comes over and peers at my lunch. Then decides to start this whole ass one-sided conversation about her cooking, her kids' eating habits, her opinions on whatever I'm eating etc, and bothers me for my entire lunch break. Me. Thinking. Ah yes. This is exactly how I envisioned my one singular 10-minute break going. Awesome. Co-worker. Hey. Why are you eating by yourself? Me. Because I don't want to talk to anyone. Awkward silence. Co-worker leaves without another word. Problem solved. Hitting back-to-back red lights. Best is when they turn red in front of you to maximize the delay. Then there is the red light to let one car through. Grocery store etiquette. GTFO of the middle of the aisle. This can't be your first time shopping. Or people that just bust out of the aisle with their carts into main paths without stopping looking. Do you merge onto roads without yielding while you drive too? Honestly, they probably do. I've turned into one of those people where if I'm on the main path, going past the aisles, I will just keep going if you burst out at full speed. No smile. No apology. I have the right of way right now. I think of it like you are coming onto the boulevard from a side street and you have a yield stop sign. And therefore I am super cautious coming out of aisles and turning into them because it's just common courtesy. I have no problems bumping carts over this. I do my best to shop at third shift hours to avoid other people. But mum will want to hang out and shop together during crowded hours and I'm not having this shit. I feel an unnatural rage when one of those mart carts does it and the a-hole riding it had to get the right of way, because if I hadn't jerked to a stop, I'd literally hit them, not just cart. And I'm not about to catch assault and battery charges from a Karen riding a Walmart scooter. Websites loading slowly. Duck it, we'll do it live. Bumping my head on something when I stand up. It takes me by surprise and pisses me off. Even worse. When I slightly touch something with my head, for example. When I slightly tilt my head back and touch the wall behind me. It startles me. I twitch in shock and hit my head on the wall in the process. Just happened in the shower. I tilted my head back to shampoo my hair and banged my head like this by the shower wall. SOOOO pissed. Edit. Thank you, kind stranger, for the silver. I also thought I was the only one. D. When a car pulls out right in front of me and then goes 20 miles per hour under the speed limit anyway. Why? Just wait then. Do not drive in Arizona. Probably Florida too. It actually annoys me less these days because every single time the person is 70 plus and probably actually didn't see me coming when they made a right on red and immediately moved over 3 lanes to go very slowly in front of me. I just go around them and practice arming. Counterpoint. If someone has bad enough vision, situational awareness, whatever, that they're routinely pulling out in front of oncoming traffic, then that person is a danger to themselves and others and ought to have their license revoked. It may not be the old person's fault that they pulled out in front of you, but it's absolutely their fault for continuing to drive when they are not capable of safely doing so. It's tantamount to saying, it's not the driver's fault he swerved into my lane. He was on his phone. I totally agree with you. I think there should be mandatory driving tests as we age. I am only talking about keeping my blood pressure down in the moment. ducking flies. I'm generally pretty chill. But as soon as a fly buzzes by my head I lose my shit. When I was a little kid, probably 5-6 years old, a bug flew into my ear and got stuck for what seemed like forever. All the adults at our family get together were crowded around me trying ways to get it out. Eventually water or oil worked it out. But that goddamn buzzing and biting inside my ear for however long it was had scarred me for life. I was paranoid around any buzzing bug after that. I wouldn't let anyone touch my ears. To this day it makes me wildly uncomfortable to even let my husband of 10 years touch my ears. For example, brush my hair behind my ears. So I'll just leave you with that nightmare fuel, I guess. Sorry. Edit. Added age clarity. This happened to me too. Had to go to the hospital to get it out. It kept flapping its wings in my ear canal. It was awful. I haven't had that. But I've had a fly zoom up my nostril. I could feel it working its way deeper and deeper until I was able to cough it out. This morning, I got a bag of popcorn out of the vending machine at work. Opened it too fast and shot popcorn all over the floor. For a good 7 seconds. I thought about just going home and quitting my job from bed. I'm the same way, except it's more like, wow, how mildly inconvenient. What if I just end my life right now in the break room? Then I'll laugh about it and go on my merry way, lol. When someone can't grasp that something isn't as obvious to me as it is to them. Simply because I can't read their minds. I don't know their whole life story. Or I don't have the same educational background. Or the same interests. Was playing a video game last night online and a new boss had come out like 1 hour prior. Someone asked how to take it down. And a huge argument ensued cause one guy thought it was so obvious. Bruh. It's day 1. Some people just need to be taught. Someone asked how to take it down. Reduce the boss's health to 0 while keeping yours above 0. Done. Filthy casual. In Broforce, one of the bosses doesn't die after losing all his health. You have to take the health down to 0. Wait for it to jump to you. Move down after getting health to 0. And repeat until you drag him to the cliff and make him fall off. Filthy casual. When standing in line at a store and the person behind you is ramming into you with their shopping cart or standing way too close. Seriously. Personal space. You pushing me won't make the line go any faster. When I bite into a delicious sandwich and all the insides fall out of the other end. I call this sandwich rage. Holy shit, I get so mad at this. Especially if I'm super hungry. It's like the sandwich is procrastinating on being eaten. Damn, my sandwich is learning from me. I call that sandwich slide. Last bite slide is the worst. When an adult throws a tantrum to get what they want and succeed. For example, when someone tries to return something without a receipt and the manager says they can't accept their return. So the person starts making a scene and the manager gives in. Nothing pisses me off more than people getting away with stuff when they know they're in the wrong. Yeah, that shit is the worst. Was liberating when I became acting manager for a bit at my old job. Seeing the expression on their face when they realize it won't work is just great. If someone shushes me or puts their hand in my face, I go from 0 to 100 in no time. I once had someone literally say pause to me to interrupt me. That shit stung. I have friends who say pause as in wait. What, but never as a way to shush me. That's ducked. Why are you commenting? Did I say you could resume? People using their brightest screens on their phones to check texts and social media during movies in a theater. People checking social media during a movie drives me insane. It's 2 hours of your life. Just sit there and watch the goddamn screen. If you can't do that, stop going to movies. Hell, even the dim setting is pretty bright in a dark room. Just don't touch your phone. It's not that hard. When someone's talking and trying to give instructions, but everyone else is just talking among themselves. Maybe it's a holdout from my military days. But nothing makes me flip faster than this. I was constantly on a hair trigger when I left the military to pursue a degree because of the sheer disrespect some kids show to the professors. I'm a teacher. And I'm pretty sure this action will be responsible for me losing years of my life due to the sheer amount of rage that builds in me. It's like, shut up you little shits. I'm literally telling you the thing that you're going to ask me in 2 minutes because right now you aren't listening to a ducking thing I'm saying. They want the information when they want it. I don't want it right now. So duck you. But I'm going to get all pissy when you give me shit later for asking you to answer the question you have already addressed 3 times. Yeah. That is literally the nature of teaching. This happens every day with my high school freshmen. Me. Okay, so side up is the hypotenuse. Tommy. Which side is the hypotenuse? Tommy. I don't know. Me. Everyone in the class. Which side is the hypotenuse? Some of the class. Ab. Me. What did you say? Most of the class. Ab. Me. One more time everybody real loud tell me which is the hypotenuse? Everyone. Ab. Me. Tommy. Which is the hypotenuse? Tommy. Ab. Me. Very good. Thank you Tommy. Susie. Which is the hypotenuse? Me. Dies a little inside. Give me your ducking phone Susie. What I love is when the one kid who's listening loses it. Like she just said that. Thank you kid. I did just ducking say that. I'm not allowed to lose my shit. But sometimes a thoughtful kid will do it for me. Talking over me. I get that it's a cultural thing for some people. In some families you never get heard at all unless you talk over your family members. But doing it in regular conversation is just enraging. Also condescension. Call me son or honey one more time. A-hole. I worked with these 2 mega over talkers. They just could not wait for someone else to finish what they were saying. The moment an idea popped into their head they'd interrupt and talk louder until they owned the conversation. One morning they were talking to each other and one interrupted the other but the other co-worker would not back down so they were both telling their stories at the same time to each other but since they were both talking neither was listening. I turned my head to see what was going on. They both noticed emotion out of the corner of their eyes and like ultimate predators immediately turned to face me and tried to desperately hook me into their stories with their facial expressions. Like nodding at me vigorously and exaggerated smiling. It was psychotic. I was like, UHH. And turned back around and I guess they realized they had no audience so both of them stopped talking. This sounds absolutely terrifying. It surprises me that some people don't grow out of this childlike egocentric view. The example you brought up of where the 2 people would talk over each other just telling their story while not listening to the other person is something I could expect from children interacting with each other. But from adults? It's ducking ridiculous. When someone chews loudly beside me, especially if they chew with their mouth open. Edit. Gold, silver and a 7 metric tons of upvotes. Thank you Reddit. We are not alone. Don't forget the ragged breathing. Also through their mouth. In between chews. I recently went through and still am going through a period where my nose is clogged almost always and I hate myself for doing that. Or slurp. That just annoys the hell out of me. Unflushed toilet. A lady in our office would leave the bathroom with the roll of toilet paper hanging down into the garbage can. We moved the garbage can and mentioned it to her many times. Now, the toilet paper goes all the way to the floor. Last time I brought it up all she replied with was you don't have kids yet so you are going to have to learn for that to not bother you. Yeah I don't have kids but just because you do. It doesn't give you an excuse to act like a kid here at work. Betsy. I hate her for you. What a beach. Seriously. When I throw my keys on the table and they slide off then I try again and they slide off again and I just say duck it and leave them on the floor. I hate dropping something then trying to pick it up only to drop it again right as soon as you rise up. I do this. Then I get all pissed off at the inanimate object and pick it up roughly. Because that'll teach it. People taking up the sidewalk and walking too slow. Immediate rage. Similar but driving. Someone wanting to see what lane is going to go faster so they sit in both. So no one can pass them. Bigger frustration when they're the only car blocking you from getting to that light that you're trying to turn right on. Biggest frustration is when you're trying to get to that light to turn right. And they think you're trying to cut traffic. So they block both lanes. New mothers 3 abreast. All pushing prams at 0.5 miles per hour. Oh you mothers. People who try to get on an elevator before anyone else has a chance to step off. Catching my earbud cord on a doorknob and having it ripped from my ear. I got hooked the other day and instead of ripping out of my ear it pulled my phone out of my pocket. It ended up on the ground with the screen cracked. The real source of courage for Apple to get rid of the headphone jack. I'll add to this getting the belt loops on your pants caught on the door handles. Edit. After all those replies, all 35 plus of them. THX inbox. I realize that we can all agree that door handles and belt loops don't mix. I propose we take up arms and march to war against protruding door handles. When people mumble stuff as they walk away. Someone telling me to go do something that I was going to do anyway. If you tell me to go do the dishes as I'm walking to go do them, I no longer want to do the dishes. I have no idea why this makes me as enraged as it does. It's because part of you wanted to do it as a nice gesture. Or show that you're taking initiative. The second someone tells you to do it, however, it is now no longer your idea and instead of doing something nice, they had to remind you and you're just following a command. And saying oh yeah I was just about to get started on those comes off as an excuse no matter how true it is. It completely changes the meaning of the action both to yourself and to the other person. Drives me up the wall. I made cookies once and my dad came in and very rudely asked if I was going to clean up after myself, as I was cleaning up after myself. Like there was a ducking sponge in my hand and I washing dishes as he said this. Made me so goddamn mad. My mom never fails to tell me to do the thing that I am currently doing. Drives me up the wall. While working at Subway it bothers me when people say you can get me, instead of can you get me. I think it's just the gesture of asking that I appreciate. So when someone doesn't it throws me off. Same. But with household chores. Can you take out the trash? Okay sure no problem. You can take out the trash instant rage mode. Hot thought flipping 2 words at the beginning to a sentence would make such a difference. People who use speakerphone in public. Also, the especially shitty subgroup of people who blast music from their phone Bluetooth speaker in public instead of using headphones. Bruh. Diss that shit you ain't never heard before. Yeah. And now I long to return to such an idyllic time. OMG. This. That tinny shitty speaker blasting turning a public space into their own little private bubble. Add to it parents who let their kids play games with the sound cranked up. I don't need to know that Timmy just snagged 50 coins. The ones about kids playing games with unnecessary sounds drives me insane. My husband and I went out for our anniversary and there was a single guy at the table next to us who was talking on speakerphone the whole meal. If I had been sitting at a better angle I would have been mean mugging him into submission. Even our overly bubbly waitress was getting snippy with him. Basically anything high pitched. When a roommate takes something of yours unannounced, like a beer from your 6-pack, or a big scoop out of your peanut butter jar. Nothing huge, but just enough to know that they took something from you without asking. I had a roommate that would eat entire containers of leftovers, or frozen pizzas, or giant bowls of cereal. Claims he was a sleep eater. Pissed me off. Like, I'm a generous guy. You ask me for one of my frozen pizzas. Chances are I'll say yes. It's the act of just taking it like you are entitled to my stuff and ultimately my hard-earned money that enrages me. Also, sleep eaters eat things raw and right out of the box. And typically only in familiar places. Not in a new dorm room where your subconscious doesn't know where anything is. You don't turn on the oven, set a timer, and straight up cook a frozen pizza that doesn't belong to you. Reported him and he was relocated quickly. Apparently others had similar issues with him. People who try to converse with you and still go on their phone. So when they're halfway through a sentence they'll be distracted by their phone and won't answer, or when you have to repeat yourself like 5 times because they were too distracted. Like, just pick one. Talk to me or the phone. I'd look if they choose the phone, but like don't talk to me if they're gonna waste my time like that. When my neighbor knocks on my door, he's always asking to borrow something or trying to get me to do him favors or something else weird. And he doesn't take the hint if I don't answer after a minute. I'm over being neighborly to this guy. stepping in water in fresh socks, or getting the socks damp in any manner. I could have won the lottery, and if I stepped in water, I would yell out, "This day ducking sucks." People asking for my help and then questioning the manner in which I provide it. Like, I remember when I was younger my mum would ask me to load the dishwasher, but then give me shit cause I didn't do it exactly like she did. And keep in mind, I'm not some imbecile who doesn't know how to load a dishwasher. They exist and they are infuriating. But she'd bitch at me for putting the spoons where she usually put the forks or some other minute bullshit like that. Now it usually only happens when I'm giving someone a ride and they question the route or my driving in traffic skills. I lose my shit on people if they do that. I've told more than one to get out and walk if they don't like it. Why did you go this way? To get there. Stfu. When whatever you're about to do gets derailed by technology. Want to watch a movie? Well, the Chromecast won't connect. The subtitles are wrong. The audio is offset by 200 milliseconds. The Bluetooth speaker ran out of battery. And the internet just went down. Fine. I guess I'll just play a video game instead. Well, there's a 15 GB update. And it made the game laggy. Also, the servers are having connection issues and matchmaking is broken. Damn it. Alright, I'll just go for a walk and play some music. Except the Bluetooth headphones won't pair today. And Spotify is stuck in a flying mode. I just wanted to relax. But now it's 10 PM and I've spent my entire evening angrily troubleshooting stuff. This is why I tend to avoid technology as much as possible. It replaces predictable inconveniences with unpredictable problems. Everything is broken and nobody cares. Even my to-do app is giving me trouble these days. I get this 100%. It always seems to start small too. Doesn't it? You try to play the movie. The audio doesn't work. No problem. I'll just check settings. The entire audio device seems to be gone. Well, okay. Let's check device manager. What do you mean I'm not an administrator? I built this computer. I know my privilege level. Okay. Reboot maybe. Oh great. Now there's no video. Did my entire system just die on me? Oops. No. There it is. In Korean. Daramnit. So much of this sounds unbelievable. And yet I've been there. Sometimes my phone will randomly refuse to connect to my car during rush hour. So I'm stuck in traffic with none of my music playing. Then when I'm a minute away from my apartment it will magically start working again. Technology. I now keep a couple CDs in my car in case that happens again. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for 3 videos a day.